Join MetaShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MetaShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MetaShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MetaShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before October 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is October 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE, 844-45-BIBLE.
Rocket 1025.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. A frost advisory begins at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning and remains in effect until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bright sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 78. Winds out of the southwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 36. Daytime highs approaching 64 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Mainly sunny skies and dry Saturday and Sunday. Upper 60s Saturday, upper 70s by Sunday. A peek at the extended shows, 84 Monday, 73 Tuesday, and 57 on Wednesday. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Right now, 48.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
If you take electric or natural gas service from Midwest Energy, you're a co-op member. Midwest Energy is holding its annual meeting of members on Monday, October 21st, 10 a.m., at the Hilton Garden Inn in Hayes. Join us for a short meeting and maybe win one of several great door prizes. Again, that's the Midwest Energy annual meeting, Monday, October 21st, 10 a.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Hayes. Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative making energy work for you.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
The one hail of a sale continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get huge savings on not just lightly hailed on vehicles, but also ones that don't have hail or have had the hail fixed. How about a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 SLE with hail up to $13,000 off when trading in an eligible vehicle, now only $49,000. A 24 Chevy Tahoe RST with hail up to $14,000 off, now just $58,000. It's one hail of a sale, and it continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account for your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber-Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber-Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
The region's only local sports talk.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
It's been a long, long time. But the Goodland Cowboys are going to play for a state title.
To the pros.
How about a walk-off grand slam? Touch of all time, Ryan McMahon.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber-Ace Hardware, and FNB Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work. Johnson up the floor to Trey. Ricochet. Bullseye! His first NBA shot is a three. And Williams to ball back to him. Resets, lets it fly. Got it.
Big shot there from Grant Williams. Salter, here it is. Going to the outside. Time expires. Incomplete. And Kennesaw State pulls a massive upset for its first ever FBS win.
And good Thursday morning, everybody. It is the Morning Blitz. Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, 730 Gold, KLOE, NWKSradio.net, and the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So glad you could join myself and Max Gershon here on a Thursday where it's 50 degrees and clear, a little blustery out there to get your morning started. But it's going to be 77, which means golfing weather for Maxwell later on today, more than likely. Going to have some nice weather to go out there and swing the sticks if he would like to do so. So that'll be nice. You'd enjoy you might as well. I don't think this weekend you'll want to play a ton of golf. I don't know. Temperature is going to be a little bit cooler, more down into the 60s. And especially in the evening time, going to get very cool. I think we're finally going to have, this Friday night for the first time, where we're actually going to have it really feels like football weather out there on Friday night, where the temperatures at kickoff are going to be just around 60 and then, of course, dip down into the 50s as it progresses on. It's been I feel like to an extent, a very, very warm fall to this point in time. Very warm fall.
Definitely. I've worn shorts and short sleeves for every game until last week. I wore a hoodie in the second half of the Colby-Lakin game. So, yeah, it really hasn't been too much of a football feel outside, at least on Friday Night Lights. So
see, maybe the big man upstairs is just looking out for you. Maybe he's just looking out for you because he knew that you didn't have any winter clothes.
That's true. But I got more hoodies now. Shout out American Eagle. Not
there you go.
But they could.
Shout out, no free shout out.
But yeah, so. Still getting them coming in, but yeah, I'd be down for some football weather on Friday.
How is Casa de Gershon coming along over there? Slowly getting some things put together in the household there.
It's great. Me and Chad actually drove up to Oakley yesterday because Paul found a washing machine for me, so now I have that in my apartment. No more laundromat, and so yeah, that's kind of the final piece of the puzzle. But
you don't have a dryer, right? No dryer.
Yeah, we're going to figure out the dryer, but that's then we're pretty much settled in.
So there you go. Once again, if anybody knows of a dryer, they'd like to,
please let me know.
It's Max. Let him know. Hit us up on the F&B Bank text 785-899-2222. Just text the word dryer.
Yeah.
Max will get back with you.
I'll get back with you.
Possibly on that about a dryer for his apartment that he needs still, but found the washer, but didn't have the dryer.
Shout out, Paul.
Did Chad set that up for you?
Yeah, I mean, we moved it in. It's it's pretty easy. I need to get new like the hose that connects
kind of the plumbing stuff for it, different hose.
But yeah, we'll stop it. Hoover Lumber.
There you go.
Up and
Hoover
then
Lumber Ace Order. They got it all, baby.
Yeah, I'm telling you though, I'm pretty much all now that the winter clothes are coming in. I've got the washing machine, just need the dryer, and we're good. We're settled in.
All set. He's feeling good, and so that's good to hear. Good deal. Once again, the FB Bank text line is open. You want to chime in throughout today's show. We will be getting to the NFL Power 5 coming up here in about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll discuss a little bit of World Series game number 1 between the Yankees and the Dodgers coming up in segment 3. But I want to start off the show with just kind of a smorgasbord of things. First and foremost, locally, Colby Community College volleyball, another win last night over Seward County. They dominated the Saints 3-0, 25-17, 25-18, 25-17, the final scores in that quick sweep. Seward County used to be the cream of the crop in the Jayhawk Conference. It used to be the best, and it has fallen off quite a bit. Now Colby and Barton are the cream of the crop when it comes to Region 6 in the Jayhawk Community College Conference. And Colby now has won 8 straight matches, and I was looking this up, trying to see the last time, I was looking at, they lost a set to Barton, which once again is a top 10 ranked team. But you take out that Barton, they've lost 1 set to Garden City here, pretty much over the last month. They've lost 2 sets. So, and just no matches and two sets is all that they have lost in this span. They have been absolutely dominant. Has Colby Community College, and they're setting themselves up. They'll have a difficult, I don't want to say a very difficult, but a semi-difficult couple matches coming up here. They've got Dodge City and Garden City to wrap up the month, and then they'll finish up on the 2nd of November with the regular season, hosting Hutchinson for what'll be sophomore night. And so that'll wrap up the regular season. Then they'll go to the Region 6 tournament and hopefully have a chance to see if they can do what they did last year, which is make it to the national tournament, if they can get that done. So it's been another great season for Colby Community College volleyball, and it just continues with a sweep of Seward County last night, 3-0. 22-2 overall, 12-1 in the Jayhawk Conference. Those 2 losses have come to a top 10 ranked Barton team and a top 3 ranked Northeastern squad early in the season, which I was told from people was that was going to be that probably could have gone Colby's way too. It was that type of a match. So like I said, they really only have one kind of tough loss on their schedule, and that was when they got beaten pretty soundly by Barton at home back there a month or so ago. So anyway, Colby Community College, shout out to them on another great win. Boy, what about last night in college football, Max? Did you happen to watch any of that last night?
I after, because I was watching the NBA last night, and I didn't even know that game was on until I got the notification, and then I was on Twitter and I was checking things out, watched the highlights. But man, that was that is a tough pill to swallow if you are Liberty.
Yeah, that's a bad one. For those who don't know, Kennesaw State knocked off unbeaten Liberty last night, 27-24. Liberty, by the way, was a perfect 5-0, and Kennesaw State was 0-5. In fact, there are some ridiculous numbers when it came to this football game last night, people, and I want to just go through these real quickly. I've bookmarked these in my social media account. But so Kennesaw State is a football program that started, I think, just 5 years ago.
2015.
So 2015. So we're approaching 10 years old.
Yes.
But it's a very relative young college football program. Is Kennesaw State, located just outside of Atlanta, is where Kennesaw State is located. And anyway, Kennesaw State last night with the win, it was their first ever FBS win, meaning it was the first time they've beaten a team that could actually go to a bowl game and not like a team that plays in the FCS or lower. It was their first FBS win. Liberty came into that game, as Max had mentioned multiple times, 5-0. They were in contention for the college football playoff, and they had a 17-game win streak in the regular season that came to an end with that. And it's the first time since 2001 an 0-5 team or worse beat a 5-0 or better team. Just think about that. A winless 0-5 team knocked off an unbeaten team, 5-0.
Not only a winless team, a winless FBS team. They've never won
all time.
Right. And I know their recent switch up to the next level in FBS. And I know it's funny because a lot of people have really just heard about Kennesaw State when the college football video game came out, because they're the worst team in college football 25. So everyone's like wanting to rebuild Kennesaw State when that game came out. So it's funny that now people are like, oh, they're an actual real team that just won a big football game. But yeah, their coach, Brian Bohannon, he's been there for the entirety of their football program. He has a 72 and 36 record, 3 Big South championships, and made the FCS playoffs 4 times. So now he gets his first FBS win. So that's impressive. And they were 27-point dogs to Liberty. 27-point dogs. And now, you think about the playoff picture, what this does to Liberty. Boise State is in great shape possibly to get that spot outside of the Power 5 conference teams, as well as Western Kentucky is looking in a lot better shape now to win the CUSA in their respective rights because of Liberty's loss. So a lot of things change up because of that huge upset from Kennesaw State.
Honestly, it made tomorrow night's game between Boise State and UNLV even bigger. Because of that loss, it made it even bigger. That was, by the way, 2 teams out of the Mountain West that are both 6-1. That is an elimination game from possibly making the college football playoff right now. That is the game because it is the highest ranked group of 5 team that makes the playoffs. Now, I don't know. Was Liberty even ranked? I don't even think Liberty was ranked.
They weren't, but they were close. They were getting there. I mean, they were
like 20 in that 25 to 26 to 30 range, I'm sure.
But it was the same thing that happened last year because they were undefeated for most of the year and they weren't ranked until, if I'm remembering correctly, they weren't ranked until kind of this spot in the season as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of eliminated. So they were eliminated last night for making the college football playoff. Simple as that. Liberty had a chance, but that's over. And like I said, I think it really adds to the intrigue of what's coming up Friday night with Boise State at UNLV. Which interesting game. I would love to watch that game. I'll be working myself, but I would love to see how that game turns out. I think that'll be a highly entertaining game with a lot on the line. And like I said, even more now that game happened last night. So very interesting night last night in college football with Kennesaw State. Like Max said, 27-point dogs beating Liberty 27-24. That is just a complete and honest oversight by Liberty.
Yeah.
By the way, I think that was the first. I think I read. So the head coach for Liberty is Jamie Chadwell. He was at Coastal Carolina for a long time, and he was kind of a hot name for a while, and probably still going to be a hot name coming up here in the next few years. You'll see him probably in the SEC at some smaller school, more than likely, Jamie Chadwell. But anyway, I think that was like his first. I think that might have been his first loss in the regular season in a long time as well, because he'd won a lot of straight games, not just at Liberty, but also Coastal Carolina. It had been a long time since he'd had some losses. So like I said, that was a complete and just honest oversight by Liberty and their players right there, just completely overlooking that team that once again had never beaten an FBS team. We got this in the bag. But those sleepy Wednesday night football games will get you. Hell, they will get you. Did you happen to see the field storming was funny? The kids didn't. They've never. It's a program that's new and no one really knows what to do. It's a field storming, and the kids. It was a very hesitant field storming to start, and then anyway they had to put a second back on the clock. So they had to get everybody back off the field and get them set. And then the game got over, and then here they came, and it was a better field storming.
They got their practice run in.
That's right. They what?
They needed that.
Well, you're exactly right. They needed that practice run, and they figured out the field storming after that. I wonder how much they'll get fined for storming the field.
This was a funny tweet. This was a funny tweet I saw. With winless Kennesaw State's stunning upset of undefeated Liberty, someone is finally Ken-nuff in college football. Kentucky, Kent State, and Kennesaw State were on a combined 15-game losing streak. So if your name started with a Ken, K-E-N, you had lost 15 straight college football games until Kennesaw State came through last night against Liberty.
Who do you think sits in a room and figures out that stat? That is ridiculous. It's a great stat, but who the heck sat there and thought of that?
That's what Twitter's for.
Oh, my Lord. Someone had to think that up. I guess AI could do it now, I suppose, but man, that's ridiculous. But yeah, big upset last night in college football as Kennesaw State picks up their first ever FBS win versus a team that was hunting for the college football playoff in Liberty. Before we get to the NFL Power 5 in the bottom segment, I want to take a little time here to talk a bit about Big 12 basketball. The Big 12 basketball media days are going on currently right now. They're just getting ready for the upcoming season. It's hard to imagine that we're going to have college basketball here in, 2 weeks? Doesn't like the season kind of like tip off with the first games like that first week of November.
Yeah.
Usually, Kansas State plays Fort Hays State and, those kind of exhibition games. That one tune-up before they, take on another tune-up team from directional state, wherever.
Yeah, KU will play UMKC.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that kind of stuff happening. We're only 2 weeks away, and so Big 12 basketball media days were going on, and so last week SEC had their media days for basketball, and they were talking about, how they think that they're the best basketball conference in the country, which it's typical SEC. Thinking that they're better than everybody else. But the Big 12 stepped up to the mic yesterday and said, no way, we are the best. Jerome Tang got in there with some comments, and Bill Self got in there with some comments. It was actually the two Kansas schools that kind of got in there and led the charge when it came to bragging about the Big 12 conference. And look, we're kind of biased. I'm here on this show. We live in Big 12 country. I mean, now we are totally surrounded by it with Colorado and Utah and all those teams coming back. So we're totally surrounded by it. But watching the Big 12 week in and week out for the past few years, I don't know how you could deny the fact that they are the best conference in men's college basketball. I don't know how you couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what the SEC, what those coaches or whoever said that is thinking. I can just read some of this. Like, the Big 12 has the highest average rating using the Men's College Basketball Power Index, BPI, of any conference at 11. The weakest team is Texas Tech, which has a BPI, which is how many points above or below average a team is, of 9, higher than the average of the second-ranked Big 10 team in 8.5. And the 10 hardest schedules belong to the 10 teams from the Big 12. So, I mean, it's just the talent, the teams, the schedules, the rival. I mean, the atmosphere, everything points into the direction of the Big 12 being the best basketball conference, really, for the last 3-4 years in the country. So
I always love to go to Ken Palm. Ken Palm is the king when it comes to college basketball. If you want to go to last year's Ken Palm basketball ratings from 2024, so previous season, in the top 30, there are 7 Big 12 teams. 7 in the Big 12. And I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC teams in the top 30. So right there, if you base it off of last year. Now, once again, college basketball is to me the worst for this, but teams change every single year. You don't know what's going on. I continue to tell the story of driving back from covering some baseball last year versus when the Elite Eight was going on. And I was listening to the Westwood One's coverage of it on the radio as I was driving back. And as I'm sitting there listening to this, they keep on saying, well, here's so-and-so going to the line. He started his career at this school. He then went to here, and now he's here playing for the so-and-so in the Elite Eight. And that happened. And if I heard it once, okay, I get it. That happened, I feel like, almost every other time somebody went to the free throw line. It didn't matter which team it was. Everybody's got a transfer that's moved at least once, if not twice, and sometimes this is their third stop on the way to out the door of their college basketball career. It's ridiculous. And guess what? We're going to see a bunch of teams this year that maybe weren't great last year. They're going to come and be a great team this year. Heck, Arkansas could be one of them. I know on the FB Bank text line, Michael chimes in. KU and Arkansas square off to tip off the season, which ought to be an interesting game there. But with Coach Calipari going from Kentucky to Arkansas and all the money he had to have, not only in his own bank account, but in the bank account to pay players to come there, that they'll have a high quality team there at Arkansas.
Thinking right now, I'm just thinking about Arkansas basketball, and outside of K-State and Missouri, that could be my most hated. I cannot stand Arkansas. With Coach Calipari.
So
on
hold
Arkansas
on.
Now, and the fact that they beat us in the tournament a couple years ago, I want to destroy Arkansas in game 1.
So do you hate Arkansas or do you hate Calipari?
Calipari.
Okay, so you hate
Calipari.
Calipari.
I don't like their basketball team right now because they've beat us in the tournament a couple years ago. So now I forgot Calipari was there for a second. So now let's beat them up, Bill Self. Let's get off to the races in week 1.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing about the Big 12 conference. Going back to this conversation about the Big 12 picks on top. But here's the other thing about it. You can talk about all the great teams, KU and Baylor and, K-State, even though they had a down year last year. I mean, Jerome Tang did everything humanly possible to prevent that from happening, including bringing in one of the best guys in the portal in Coleman Hawkins. But, you can go around the league and, of course, Houston, can't forget about Houston and what they do every single year. And yeah, they lost Texas and yeah, they lost Oklahoma, but I don't think that was huge losses. They brought in Colorado and Tad Boyle, who's been a phenomenal coach and has a great program there in Colorado. They've brought, of course, Arizona comes in. That's a blue blood program there in college basketball. They brought in some really nice teams, did the Big 12 to even bolster that even more. And Bill Self made the comment. He goes, just look at the bottom of the league of the Big 12. He says, look at where that stacks up compared to the bottom of maybe your other leagues. It's from top to bottom. Big 12, definitely the best hoops conference in the country.
Yeah, Texas, like I mentioned, I mean, Texas Tech would be the second best team in the Big 12, and they're the ranked worst team.
Oh, yeah, how could I forget about Texas Tech? Yeah, shoot.
In the Big 10. That's it's ridiculous stuff.
Who is the worst team in the Big 12 conference?
I think that's what it's saying. The weakest team is Texas Tech, according to BPI.
That's the weakest team is Texas Tech?
Yeah, so it says they have a BPI of 9, higher than the average of the second-ranked Big 10 team with an 8.5. So, that's ridiculous.
Well, and you have to see preseason rankings to me are always something that kind of bugaboo me here.
Oh, yeah.
They bugaboo me a lot because what we're doing is, and I've talked about this before even the football season started, we are giving credit to teams that existed last year that are no longer there. You're giving credit to teams and programs that were this last year, but that's just the basis you have to go off of if you are a media member or whoever you want to talk about it. That's what you have to go off of. But let's face it, goes back to my conversation a few seconds ago. All teams are different every year. How do you know? Yes, you might have good talent. Do those guys gel together? Do they play good together? You don't know that. That's why I've always kind of been a fan of let's sit back and let's watch some games in the college basketball season. Let's watch some games for a month. And then let's look back and say, okay, who impressed us? Let's rank those teams. Instead of giving everybody, the spot of, well, hey, this team was good last year and they returned this player. They ought to be good again. Let's put them there. Instead of going back and basing off what happened last year, why do that? Instead, take it as what it is after a month of seeing what it actually looks like for this year and then go from there. Like my biggest thing was, and this has kind of been alleviated a little bit because of the expanded college football playoff. But if you think about it, Max, there were 4 teams that got in previous years for the college football playoff. If you didn't start, and let's say that you were an FBS, sorry, not FBS, if you were a group of 5 team at that point in time, let's say you were Cincinnati. Cincinnati could go unbeaten but not make the college football playoff because they were not considered good. They were not far enough up in the rankings to move up to get into the top 4. So it was a 2-year process for Cincinnati to go to the college football playoff. They had to have pretty much 2 great years back to back. 1 year to solidify themselves in the top 25 for this next season to then be able to put themselves in position to go for the playoff. And that's the kind of thing. Now, basketball, it doesn't quite matter as much because 64 teams get in. And maybe in the future, sorry, maybe not. It's not even 64 now, isn't it? 68. 68 teams get in. So that's an expanded playoff. It doesn't matter as much. But at the same time, I would just like to see, I just want to see teams. What are you actually this year? Show me before I go out and say, yeah, you are really good. Or, oh, you know what? You actually stink. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you saw that. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was, well, I don't know. But UNC was going from number 1 to terrible in a matter of a month in the college basketball rankings. So this is something we've seen often. I mean, KU was ranked number 1 last year, and we all know that was not a quality Bill Self basketball team when it was all said and done. So yeah, I mean, KU is ranked at number 1, but I'm not.
Like Alan on the FP Bank text line chimes in. He says, "Look at Florida State football this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Top 10 team has 1 win. You don't have to rank teams right out of the gate. Just play the games. Let's see after a couple weeks or a month. Then let's see who actually is good this year."
So you'd like to start with no rankings?
Yeah. Now, once again, that sounds dumb coming from a media person who loves to talk about the rankings and things like that. But I'd be okay with it.
I get it.
Let me just see. Hey, no offense to Kansas football. Kansas football is a top 25 team coming in this season. They have not been that this year. Now, I know, once again, the ratings can be adjusted, but it makes it awfully difficult for teams who are outside the top 25 to make their way into the playoff scenario. Easier nowadays with the expanded playoff, but it's hard to do that, once again, if you're giving other teams a head start because of what they did in previous seasons. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. That's I've never heard of like that kind of idea, but I don't mind it. I think that's a very good point because we've seen, and really recently we've seen in both college football and college basketball a lot of what you're saying. So
all right, let's get to a break. It's 8:34 Central, 7:34 Mountain Time. We're going to come back with the NFL Power 5. That is next. You're listening to a Thursday edition of the Morning Blitz. Stick around.
Available at Next Tech Wireless in 4 bold colors: black, pink, teal, and ultramarine. Which iPhone 16 color will you choose? Built for Apple Intelligence with the all-new A18 chip, a new feature camera control, and a big boost in battery life. Get the new iPhone 16 on us. Next Tech Wireless. Home on the range.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Thursday, October 24th. And on the overnight sell side, beef corn higher 3 3/4 at 4.22 3/4. March up 3 cents at 4.35. May up 2.5 at 4.42 1/4. And July corn up 2 cents at 4.45 3/4. November soybeans up 12.5 on the overnight at 10.10. January up 10 1/4 at 10.15 3/4. March up 9 3/4 at 10.25.5. May up 9 cents at 10.38. Chicago wheat, the December contract higher 3/4 cents at 5.79 1/4. March up 1 1/4 at 5.99.5. May up 1 1/4 at 6.09.5. July up 1/4 at 6.14 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the December contract lower 0.5 cent at 5.85. March down 0.5 at 5.99 1/4. May down 0.5 at 6.09 1/4. July down 0.5 at 6.17. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down $43 at 42,695. The S&P down up $25 at 5,863. The Nasdaq up 173 at 20,393. Gold higher $23.60 an ounce at 2,753. And crude oil up 45 cents a barrel at 71.20. If you have any questions about marketing grain and would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Ball, or Tyler Dosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Now's the time to get right with Pivot Bio Nitrogen. The right source at the right rate at the right time in the right place. Sounds good, right? And now is the right time to act. with zero payments, zero interest, and zero worry until December 1st, 2025 on the best source of nitrogen. Get right with Pivot Bio. For more information, visit pivotsprovenit.com. That's pivotsprovenit.com.
When challenging conditions arise, we don't back down. We up our game. Outpacing the competition with innovations fueled by Bayer's R&D, keeping you equipped with an expanded portfolio, elite genetics, and additional local test plots. Channel leads the field, so you can rise above. See how you can save at channel.com/finance24. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
The one hail of a sale continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get huge savings on not just lightly hailed on vehicles, but also ones that don't have hail or have had the hail fixed. For example, a 24 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali with no hail up to $7,000 off when you're a loyal Buick or GMC owner, now just over $68K. A 24 Chevy Tahoe RST with hail up to $14,000 off, now just $58K. It's one hail of a sale, and it continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, online at hurlchev.com.
Start your day with a blitz of sports news, analysis, and interviews.
Sounds like a pretty damn good deal to me.
This is the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
About 20 minutes left to go on the show here today. We'll get to some World Series chit-chat in our final segment, but I want to talk a little NFL coming up here with our NFL Power 5. Well, I don't know about you, Max, but this slate here, I don't know if it, I don't think it's a really good one here this weekend.
No, no, it's not. I was looking at it this morning when I was putting together my list, and I was like, I don't even know if there's 5 good games. Well, I didn't look at. Hold on, let me look at what's Monday Night Football this week. That's the one thing
not a good one. Giants Steelers.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's not a good week.
No,
not a good week. Nonetheless, let's get into the NFL Power 5. Starting with
number 5. Homer pick. Chiefs, Raiders, number 5. After the Raiders stole Christmas last year, they came into Arrowhead, stole Christmas. Chiefs going to look for some revenge. DeAndre Hopkins debut. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say this every single week until it's true. Mahomes, no interceptions, 300 yards. It's going to be a great game for the Chiefs and a great way to start the DeAndre Hopkins era in Kansas City. Looking forward to it.
What, Uncle Sammy, didn't he predict 47 yards and a tutty?
He did.
DeAndre Hopkins yesterday?
Something along those lines.
I think it was 47 and a tutty is what he thought. So we'll see. Once again, I'm a bit more apprehensive on that. I'd take the under on that for the first game back for D-Hop with the Chiefs. My number 5, I'm going to go to the NFC South. It's been an entertaining league thus far, even though it's my least favorite league in all of professional football for whatever reason. I don't know why. But nonetheless, the NFC South, you got the Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, the Falcons are a 2.5-point favorite despite being on the road. Look, this game would be more intriguing if Tampa Bay was not just ravaged with injuries. Godwin's done for the year, it looks like. And then you've got, Evans, which continues to be dealing with injuries. Baker Mayfield has to just make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. It's going to be hard. And Kirk Cousins has looked good. Almost 2,000 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 7 picks after a rough start. He's got weapons. This Falcon team is kind of entertaining with the weapons that they have offensively and with Kirk Cousins at the helm. So, I know this game intrigues me on what's a bad slate here in week number 8 of the NFL football season.
The Falcons I can't figure them out. I don't know. Are they good? Are they average? Are they not good? I don't know. Because it feels like it's a different team every week. One week, Kirk Cousins throws for 500 yards randomly, and they look like, oh, this is a team that could compete in the NFC. And then they're not as good. So I don't know. The Bucs, are kind of in shambles right now. Obviously, Evans is out until week 11, so it's going to be tough for them. But he won't be playing for the Chiefs game for all Chiefs fans out there. Bills versus Seahawks is my number 4.
Is number 4. Go ahead. Bills Seahawks.
I think it's going to be two offenses that are fun to watch. Bills, obviously, with Amari Cooper now in his second week. I know he had the touchdown last week. And then the Seahawks. Good thing, thank goodness, DK Metcalf is not severely injured after he was carted off last week. That was really good to see because I love watching DK Metcalf play football. I think he's extremely talented, obviously. So Bills Seahawks, just a fun kind of AFC versus NFC clash. And yeah, looking forward to it.
I think this game is more intriguing. It's actually my number 2 in my Power 5 is the Bills and the Seahawks. First of all, these are 2 of the top 8 scoring offenses in the NFL. Seattle comes in at 25.7. That's 8th. And the Bills are 5th at 28.4. So 2 very high-scoring offenses. And Seattle and both teams have pretty decent defenses. I mean, they're not amazing, but they're decent, I would say, overall. But 2 high-scoring offenses. And how about this? Do you know who leads the league in the least amount of turnovers per game this year? It's the Bills.
Yeah.
With Josh Allen, who struggled with that in previous years. He has figured out how to protect the football better. And I think the Bills, once again, with Josh Allen, I like watching him play. He plays football in a fun way. And they've got some pieces. It's kind of a no-name group of guys around him, but I kind of like it. And it's kind of fun to watch. So Bills Seahawks is actually my number 2 in the NFL Power 5.
I put Josh Allen as probably second in the MVP right now, just barely behind Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. I think it's between those 2 in the MVP.
I think Lamar is in the front. He's been very good. All right, on to
number 3.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I got to do my number 4. I forgot. My number 4 is actually Cowboys at Niners. I'll take this one. I think I like it because of the nostalgia. It reminds me of the 90s, I guess, even though this game just seems bigger. Even though I don't think the 49ers have looked anywhere near the type of Super Bowl contending team that they've been. Brock Purdy has struggled with interceptions and some stuff. He doesn't have the running game that he totally needs to help his game. I know Christian McCaffrey, they've been digging deep into the well when it comes to running backs. And now Brandon Ayuk is hurt. Boy, that stinks. You pay that guy all that money, now is hurt. They're dealing with injuries. And so San Francisco's in a bad spot. And golly, there's always drama in Dallas. Everybody saw freaking what Jerry Jones said about, they're not designing good enough plays and putting it on the head coach. There's always drama there. And Dallas just does not look very good. There was discussion on Tuesday about why the Cowboys didn't sign Derrick Henry and then Jerry Jones coming out and saying, well, it's because he doesn't fit our system and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. But I think I like the nostalgia, the red clashing with the blue on Sunday Night Football. Even though I don't know if these 2 teams are very good, but once again, in a bad week, I'll take this game at number 4 in my NFL Power 5. All right, on to number 3.
Number 3.
Well, I also have the Niners and Dallas, and I think it's for all those reasons. Also, if you're not in full panic mode now as a Cowboys fan or a 49ers fan, whoever loses this game might be, if not very close to full panic mode. With how these 2 teams are playing. So that's my number 3 for that reason, because it's you got to start winning some football games if you're the Dallas Cowboys. You got to figure it out, or there's going to be it's Jerry's world is getting kind of dark and gloomy.
Who is the top team in the NFC? I was going to look that up. You're talking about trying to win some games. The Lions. Okay. Yes. So you've got the Lions, and of course the Vikings are in there too. Lions and Vikings.
That's they're expecting Cooper Kupp to play tonight against the Rams, Vikings, and Puka Nacua might be back.
Puka
might be back. So that makes that game from very boring to kind of interesting. So
yeah, actually, that's what one of our listeners, Jared, on the Epi Bank text line chimed in. He said tonight's game is actually a good one.
I know.
Well, I don't know. The Rams do not interest me. The Vikings do, but the Rams do not. But that would intrigue me more. Like you mentioned, Max, if those guys are both on the same field and can play with Matthew Stafford, that'd be interesting. Have they ever even played together on the same field? I feel like when one's healthy, the other's injured.
Well, I think there's been a couple.
A few
snaps here and there sprinkled in.
Snaps. Not even games, just snaps. All right, moving on to my number 3. This game should have been the game of the week, but neither team has been that great. What do you call this game? Kind of like the underperforming bowl, I guess is what I would call it. Eagles at Bengals. I mean, Cincinnati can't stop a leaky faucet right now. Their defense is atrocious. They cannot stop anybody. For me, a defense that Lou Anarumo was really good at operating and was considered one of the better defense coordinators this year. They have been horrific. And Joe Burrow, who I think is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, can't score enough points. Even though they're 10th in the league in scoring, can't score enough points to keep his team in the games to win contests. And then you got the Eagles, which there's just more drama between the head coach and the players in that locker room. Who knows what's going on there? But they have got so much talent with Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. That team should be winning more games, dang it. But they're not. Why? I don't know. So that's the bowl name. These teams should be winning more games. Why not bowl? That's what it's called.
Yeah, that is my number one game. So
really?
do you want me to wait for my number one to talk?
Go ahead. Just
go ahead now.
Just go ahead. Throw it in.
Talk about a meteor game. We were talking about the meteor exploding in the Dodgers-Yankees World Series. This right here, for me as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, is what I would call a meteor bowl game because I cannot stand either of these teams. And it's going to be, I love just a good hate watch. Just watching football, hoping
I love the carnage
for both teams. I hope it's 2-0. I hope the Eagles win 2-0. I hope Burrow gets a safety on him, and that's the only scoring of the game, and then Nick Sirianni gets fired after. That's what I hope comes out of this game. But yeah, it's purely my number one game just because it is just a pure just hate watch. I get to watch it and just be like, and just celebrate the losses that every team goes through in any individual drive. So that's my number one game because I do think all around, being serious, that is both teams are very talented and they haven't been performing well. So both teams are hungry for another win. The Bengals trying to get back to 500. The Eagles, what even are the Eagles right now? So that's my number one game for those reasons this week.
Think about it. They're number 8 in total yards per game, but they're 17th in points. Like they can move the ball, they just cannot score if you are them. Yeah. Like I said, it's not pretty. Not pretty. Like I said, that game should be a lot better than what it is, and I don't know if it will be. Hopefully it will be. Of course, I mentioned my number 2 with the Bills and the Seahawks.
Number 2.
What's yours?
Bears Commanders. Bears Commanders.
We'll just wrap it up right here because this is my numero uno, baby. Go ahead.
Well, this is such a fun matchup. Yep. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, both are really well. Caleb Williams is really starting to, get in a groove. The last 3 games he's been playing well, higher quarterback rating, better stats. And then Jaden Daniels, who got banged up, but the Commanders are just a wagon right now. They are a wagon. So it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see Jaden Daniels. I think what you're going to see in this game, which is either it's going to validate one side. Is the Bears defense really this good? And is Jaden Daniels, is Jaden Daniels really this good? Is he going to perform against one of the top defenses currently in the league? So I'm really interested. There's a lot of different narratives that are going to come out of this game for both sides. Is Caleb Williams going to step up and beat a really good football team right now, or is Jaden Daniels going to keep rolling? And is the Bears defense going to kind of take a step back? We'll see. This is a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, the Washington Commanders at 31 points per game?
Why not?
Yes, taking on the 4th-ranked defense, Chicago Bears, 16.8 points per game. This is the matchup I want to see.
Yes.
Now, here's the only negative to this game. Jaden Daniels was banged up last week and has a rib injury. Will he be at full strength, and how much does that impact him? That's my only thing I have on this game. This is my number 1 game, by the way. Hands down, it's the best game, I think, this week. But yes, can Jaden Daniels move that ball up and down the field against this Bears defense, which is not probably talked about enough, but pretty darn good by Matt Eberflus and his defensive squad. This is a good defense team. And then offensively, the Bears, for those who don't know, have got weapons. If their quarterback can get them the ball, they have weapons. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift at the running back spot, Cole Kmet, who's a good tight end. They have got weapons offensively. This is a playoff caliber. Both these teams are playoff caliber, which I wouldn't have said at the beginning of the year, but they are.
Easy.
And folks, these are the type of teams now that go and have deep playoff runs. Why? Because they play a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal for 4 years, and they pay everybody else to come support him. That's how the Chiefs did it for a while. It's how everybody else does it. That's right. You put your quarterback on the rookie deal. The Niners have done it with Purdy being the lowest paid quarterback in the NFL. Look, you win with a rookie quarterback, and you put the pieces around him that are more expensive to help make him look good and give him the confidence. These two teams have done that, particularly the Bears, whereas I feel like the Commanders, they brought in Austin Eckler, who I'm a huge fan of. Love Austin Eckler. Huge fan. Shout out Western State College in Colorado. But, I mean, love him. But they had Terry McLaurin. He was a good wide receiver there. They always had weapons. They just never had a quarterback to pretty much give him the ball. And now Jalen Daniels. And I'm impressed with how much they have been comfortable running Jalen Daniels as much. He is not a big guy. I mean, when he makes the flak jack look small, the rib protector look small, that means you're a small guy.
Well, and that's what really worried people about Jaden Daniels in the NFL is he gets hit hard, and that's what worries me about this week and the future. So now he's been banged up once, but I think Jaden Daniels only knows 100%. He doesn't. I don't think he knows how to take some off of his game, of his style, of how he plays football. So I am concerned, and I really am hoping that he can stay healthy for the remainder of the season. But now that I think he's banged up once, is he able to stay healthy for the rest of the year? Because if he is, it's a dangerous team.
Once again, that's my number one game. Bears, Commanders tonight in this week's edition of the NFL Power 5, week number 8. So quickly in a recap, I've got 5 Falcons at Bucks, 4 Cowboys at Niners, 3 Eagles at Bengals, 2 Bills at Seahawks, and 1 Bears at Commanders.
For me, you know what? I'll throw honorable mention tonight, Rams, Vikings, then 5 Chiefs, Raiders, Bills, Seahawks at 4, Dallas, Niners at 3, Bears, Commanders at 2, Bengals, Eagles, Hate Watch at number 1.
Yeah, that's right. Once again, folks, tonight it is Vikings, Rams for Thursday Night Football on Prime. Monday night it is Giants, Steelers. Which, I don't know, that game, I don't know, if the Giants had a pulse, it'd be more interesting. The Steelers at least have a pulse. The Giants don't have a pulse.
I love that. Isn't it Giants, Panthers next week in Germany? What did Germany...
In Munich.
Oh, those poor fans.
I thought the same exact thing, because last year they got the Chiefs. They got the Chiefs-Dolphins last year.
Great game.
They got that great game. And so now you've got Panthers.
Oh, God.
Yeah, here you go. You got a good game. Now you're not going to have a good one, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. That's the NFL Power 5 here on a Thursday. All right, let's get to our final break. When we come back, we will touch on Major League Baseball and the World Series, which gets going tomorrow with the Yankees and the Dodgers. That's next in the Morning Blitz.
Turn to Plains Heating and Air Conditioning and Lennox for a pair that is perfect together. This duo ensures your home's air is perfect season after season. For a limited time, we're offering up to $1,500 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments. Incur no interest for 12 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credits. Call us today at 785-890-2914 or visit us online at plainsheating.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities, contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call 785-899-5011.
You're tuned in to the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
So not a lot of time to get to the World Series. Here we will in just a matter of seconds. To remind folks, tomorrow it's a Football Friday. We will talk a lot of high school football, and we will also dive into the Sunflower Showdown between the Jayhawks and the Wildcats. We'll have actually a whole segment on that on tomorrow's show. And then, of course, we'll have the Pick 6 picks of the weekend. So we got a full show ahead for you coming up here on Friday. But the World Series gets going tomorrow as well. That's why I want to talk about it today, because I don't think we're going to talk about it tomorrow. But the World Series, Dodgers and Yankees, it's Rob Manfred's dream to have this series take place. Game 1 will be in L.A. Max, what are just your quick overall thoughts on this series? You've had a few days to kind of stew on it.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, I'm still sticking with my point of it's going to be a matter of Yankees bullpen versus the bottom of the Dodgers lineup. Who is going to have more of an impact on this series? Is the Dodgers, because I think those are the two striking advantages that the Yankees have over the Dodgers and the Dodgers have over the Yankees. I think the Dodgers have a more complete lineup, and I think that the Yankees have a better bullpen, especially late in games. So, I think this is a very interesting series for so many reasons. Obviously, Yankees Dodgers, but yeah, and I mean Shohei versus Judge. I know Shohei's had some more success in his first playoff run, but no one cares. No one cares about how Judge has struggled. How Shohei's been a little more successful this playoffs. Who is going to have a better series is going to start next year as the best player in baseball. So I'm super excited for that kind of the game within the game to start.
Yeah, I think, once again, I don't know if I would have said that middle of the season that the Yankees were going to have a better bullpen than the Dodgers or anybody. Yeah. I mean, that bullpen was bad in the middle of the season. I mean, they were trying to figure out who the heck to throw late in games because they were blowing late leads. A lot of the times where the Yankees, I mean, they could have had 100 wins if they could have secured some of those late game leads that they had and blew those down the stretch. But, Luke Weaver's come in. He has really found a home at that closer spot, and he's been able to go more than just an inning if they absolutely need him to. He's been very good. But, yeah, I would agree. To me, the funnest, that's not a word, but the most fun storyline of this series is how does the top-end Yankees pitching, whether it's the starting like Garrett Cole and some other starters that they have in that bullpen, go up against that lineup of the Dodgers. I mean, there is so many good bats in that lineup. How do you navigate that? And we saw it in the previous few series. I mean, they scored 10 runs, 8 runs in their win over the Mets. I mean, they were scoring runs by the bushels. And so that's going to be, how do you keep that run number down to where you can compete? Because I don't think the Yankees can score 8 to 10 runs a game. They can't do that. They've got to keep it down probably below 4 if they're going to win.
Yeah, and I mean, the Yankees lineup definitely has holes, but we've seen Gleyber Torres, I think, arguably is the most important player in the Yankees lineup. And hear me, I know they have Judge and Soto, but they're right behind Torres. When Torres gets on for Juan Soto, you're almost automatically, with how good Juan Soto is in the postseason and how polished of a hitter is at his young age of 25, you almost automatically have 2 hitters on for Aaron Judge every time he comes up because of how good those two have been in the playoffs. So Gleyber Torres, if he continues to hit baseballs at the level he is, it's trouble for any pitching staff. But then it's, you've got Austin Wells, who hasn't been as good. He had a hot stretch in the regular season, kind of cooled down. Jazz Chisholm, of course, talks a high game, hasn't been playing well in the postseason. Well, I won't get into that. But then you have on the Yankees, you have Tommy Edman out of nowhere with, like, what do you have, 11 RBIs in the NLCS? It's ridiculous.
The Dodgers.
Right,
Tommy.
right.
Sorry. You said Yankees, but Dodgers. You meant Dodgers.
Right. Tommy Edman for the Dodgers with an incredible. And then you have Teoscar Hernandez. You just have so many more hitters at the bottom of that lineup that are just so impressive. So, if the Yankees bottom of the lineup steps up, I think they have a full advantage really over the Dodgers. But you're 100% right, Ross. I don't know. I don't trust the Yankees to compete. If a game goes into a shootout, I don't believe in the Yankees lineup as much as I believe in the Dodgers.
I'm taking Dodgers in 6.
Okay. I think I'm gonna take Dodgers in 5.
Even shorter.
I would love a long series. I would love a 7. I would love a 6. But I really do, for every reason that we've just stated, and especially the scoring. I don't know if the Yankees pitching staff outside of Garrett Cole can hold the Dodgers to anything under 4.
We'll find out. Yep. We'll find out. That starts tomorrow. Dodgers and Yankees, game 1 of the World Series. All right, on to the walk-off.
A 3-run walk-off home run
walk-off with a walk-off. His second walk-off hit of the season. In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
Learn anything good in the NBA last night, Max? Did you learn anything from watching that stuff?
Did I learn anything from the NBA last night?
Did you watch any Clippers and Suns?
I did.
What about the new arena, Intuit Dome? What did you think of that from
Absolutely love it. It is a sick looking stadium. I want to go. It is so cool. Probably be so expensive. So we'll never end up, well, not never, but hopefully one day I'll get to go. Regardless, as far as the basketball game itself, I thought both of those teams were very underwhelming. And I know it was like the Suns looked good in the first half. Clippers came out on top. But I thought it's the Suns. The thing about the Suns, they're the same team as the Nets. They have Durant, Beal, Booker, but they literally have no one else. They have no one else. So I'm not a big believer in the Suns. Kawhi can't stay healthy for the Clippers. So they look like a 6 and 7 seed. Those two teams. The West is stacked. The West is absolutely stacked. So that's really what I got out of that game last night. Bucks looked good. Cavs looked good. Yeah, that's really what I got from the NBA last night.
Sad news yesterday. The news that NC State quarterback Grayson McCall retiring from football after his latest head injury. McCall has been around, it feels like, since the early 2000s. Been around for forever. Yeah. He's at Coastal Carolina. Then got his chance to go play at the big boy level in the ACC, but he suffered injury, and so he will be done. Threw for over 10,000 yards and 88 touchdowns amongst the two. That's amazing. That's unbelievable how many yards he had and total touchdowns. So. But that'll do it for us today. So we're out of here. For Max, I'm Ross. We'll see you tomorrow here on The Blitz.
Rockin' 102.5 is KKCI Goodland.